Wow. Don't really know where else to start. Credit to our guys, credit for how they stuck to it, credit with how they rallied, credit with how they came together. Thought they did a really, really good job of staying positive and keep fighting to the next play. And then, for them to go out in the second half and do what they did, that's championship level football. And obviously the first half we didn't do anything right. But at the end of the day, we came out and we did what we had to do to win a football game. And so, I don't have much else. Questions?
Okay. We're going to go to Mark in the front left row.
I'm going to ask the question everybody's going to ask. What did you say at halftime?
Honestly, not much. Like all we talked about was, we have an identity of who we are. If we play to our identity, we're a good football team. If we start thinking that's not who we are, if we start thinking we're something else, if we start trying to play a different way, that's not us. That's not who we are. And we're a blue-collar team. We're a physical team. We're a team that has to control the line of scrimmage. We're a team that has to play with a lot of energy, and we just weren't doing any of those things in the first half. And I think the vibes were good. Given all things considered, the vibes were good. The kids believed we were going to come out and win that game in the second half, whether they really did or not. That was the energy in the locker room. And then obviously, we made some plays early in the second half to get the momentum going, to get the crowd going, and from that point it just kind of spiraled in our favor.
We'll stay to the left, second row, Alex.
Did you feel like you guys had to play a near perfect second half to win that game? And besides the fumble at the 1 yard line, did you feel like you guys did that for the most part?
We still weren't perfect. We still, there's still a lot of things we could have fixed. But yeah, for sure, felt like we had to play near perfect. Down 4 scores at halftime. I think I read somewhere that SEC teams are 0-286 all time in that predicament, and so that's 1-286 now, I guess. We didn't have a lot of margin. We were going to have to score. We were going to have to get stops. We were going to have to keep scoring. And, again, we were able to do that. That's it?
No.
Thanks, guys.
Sorry, Coach.
No, it's next. We also was happened offensively. Any thoughts or what you said or what you did, adjustments made defensively to shut them down in the second half?
First of all, I didn't tweet anything. That was important.
I wouldn't expect you to during a football game.
Yeah, me neither. The second thing is, I think we kind of got into some better feel for how they were running things. They did some things a little differently. I thought that was critical and important. I thought that helped.
And Coach, any theories or any thoughts on why y'all might have got off to a slow start?
I think obviously, we talk about this a lot. If you take your foot off the gas in football will humble you quick. Clearly, we weren't in the mental space we needed to be in to start that game. That's on me. I'm the head football coach. We weren't doing the things on either side of the ball that we needed to do to be successful. That's on me. I'm the head coach. And, this game always finds a way to humble you if you don't do it the way it's supposed to be done. And clearly, we didn't do it the way it was supposed to be done to start that game.
To the right, first row, Tony.
Mike, you talk about the growth of Marcel Reed and just his development as a leader, as a quarterback. What was the conversation with him at halftime, and what kind of response did you see from him coming out of the locker room? Yeah,
just told him to relax. It wasn't, again, he's the quarterback, and so all of the positives and negatives always fall on him. Offense is so much about rhythm, and he makes a bad throw, we give up a pressure, someone drops a ball, he makes it just was kind of that was the rhythm we were in the first half, and it was so choppy, and we were able to get back into halftime, just settle him down. I thought the tempo helped a lot. I think us going tempo to start the second half took some of the thinking out of his brain and just kind of got him loose and free and playing. That certainly helped get him into a better rhythm. I think they didn't handle it particularly well, and so we were able to get some more easy access throws, which was important. And I just think, again, he got rolling and got going.
To the left, third row, Matthew.
Coach, what can you say about Isaiah Williams turning his first catch of the season into a touchdown right there.
Yeah, it's another story, right? Another story of a kid in this program who works hard every day to get ready when his number is going to be called, and you never know. And all of a sudden, Mario's down, and we need some guys to step up. And here comes Isaiah, and he's a talented player. He hasn't been able to get a ton of opportunities this year because there's other talented players in front of him. But to his credit, he just kept working. Talked to him about it in the locker room after the game, and just proud of him for continuing to be ready and be in the position needed to be successful.
Fourth row, left, Rob.
Howdy, Coach. Congratulations. So 4th and 12, third quarter, down 30-3. Talk about that call, and it kind of changed the whole trajectory of the game when Marcel took off and got that first down.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're playing to win, so we're not playing for any other reason. And at that point, there was still a chance for us to win, and so we were going to play to win. And punting's not helping us at that point, and so we actually tried on the second and third down to get some shorter yards to get the thing going, and it just didn't work out the way we wanted it to. And so. But that was, we just felt like it was the right thing to do at that point.
To the right, front, first row, Travis.
And Mike, I know you as coaches, y'all try to script out and look and put your players in every kind of position possible. Is this something that y'all done in practice, being down and having to kind of pass as much as this to get back in a game?
Yeah, a lot less when we work on this situation. We call it 6-minute offense, and so it's like that's that thought of like being down 2 scores or 3 scores with 7-8 minutes to go in the game, where you got to pick your tempo up. You can still run your offense, but you got to be able to pick your tempo up, and you got to be able to go. There's a conditioning element to it. There's obviously a communication element to it. You don't have the ability to just sit around and take as much time as you want to, and so I've never had to do that to start a second half before, but it is certainly a situation that we spend time on. And again, we just had to start it a lot earlier than I've ever had to before.
When you have a program like that, how much do you use it? Can a quarterback get comfortable when they've gone through something like that before and done it in practice?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it helps, and the more situational football you play, the better it is. I think probably even more so the way we went out and got the stop at the end. That's another time that we've gone out with the game on the line on defense and gotten a stop at the end, and that's another that situation we work a lot more than the first one. But yeah, when you put kids in those situations, you do it so that they're comfortable and they don't panic. And so certainly a lot of the things that we were calling maybe weren't part of the base thoughts in our game plan this week, but they are certainly things we've repped a lot, practiced a lot. We practice them every week, and so we were able to get in them when we needed them and roll with it.
And then the final fumble, what was the play call on that? What should have kind of come through?
It was a disaster. It's my fault.
We'll go to the fourth row, left side, Aiden.
Aggies set a record once again today with the most attended game this season. What again is the message to the 12th man who showed up for y'all today and most importantly stayed after halftime to support your team?
Yeah, thank you for staying with us. Sorry for what the first half looked like, but in a lot of ways you propelled us to victory in the second. And so, there's not a lot of places where that stadium is going to look like it looked when we come back out after halftime. And so I noticed it obviously in the fourth quarter when the crowd was really going, but then just standing there at the end, sawing them off, and just seeing how full the stadium still was an impressive showing by the 12th man once again.
Coach, we'll go all the way in the back, Donna.
Coach, when you picked up Nate in the portal, did you envision he'd have this kind of impact for y'all?
Yeah, obviously when you go get guys, you think that they're good players. We had a lot of belief in who Nate was, and it was, again, it's kind of our process of evaluating tape and watching him play, and there were some other kids in the portal that honestly we felt like he was a much better player than, and so we went after him really hard. We thought he was going to be able to give us a little bit of both. Obviously he's a more physical kid than he is a wide open wide receiver pass catching type, but we knew he had really good hands. We knew he could play tight end and run routes and catch the ball, and so he gives us a lot. He gives us a lot of value.
Visibly more emotional after this one, especially with Marcel. Just watching you celebrate with him. beyond the numbers, the stats, having him as your quarterback, I mean, 439 yards today. But just what does that mean to watch him be able to go out there and do what he did?
Yeah, I'm not lost for words very much, but I was lost for words with the team in the locker room after the game. I just, a lot of that emotion was just pride in who they were, how they conducted themselves. There's, again, there's not a lot of teams that have a culture and a core that will just keep going. And again, like even the 80-yard pass before, it just was one after another in the first half, and to not blink and really go into the locker room and still come out in the second half and compete, and then ultimately to score 28 straight points and win a football game that ends with a 99-yard drive. There's just not a lot of words for that. It was really impressive.
We'll stay in the back, go next to her, Tyler.
You talked about that second half being championship level football. What kind of level of football did you see from Cassius Howell, especially there at the end where it seemed like he made the plays when it mattered the most?
Yeah, I think, and I'd be lying if I could tell you who was making the plays at the end. I'm assuming he was in and around the pile. I'd take your word for it. Some of that was a blur a little bit, just trying to get us into the right call. But he's a talented player, and when they got into a situation where they had to throw the ball a little bit more, we were able to kind of get going a little bit with the pass rush. It was such a run-heavy game plan by them, and we knew it would be, and so we weren't really able to do much from a pass rush standpoint early on. But as the game, got open and we got the lead at the end, we were able to kind of turn it loose a little bit, and I think he was able to do the things he's capable of doing.
To the right, third row, Christy.
I know you always, I'm sure, tell your team to look ahead and not behind if things didn't go well. But what does it say about Reed that he, had a tough first half, and he not only didn't look back, but he had one of the most epic performances in a second half ever to, keep your team on track to where you want to be?
Yeah, that's what winners do. I think that's what winners do is they control what they're capable of controlling, right? And you have to have confidence in yourself. You have to have put in a lot of work. You have to have confidence in the people around you. And I think all of that came out today. He's a confident kid. It certainly wasn't lost on him that he wasn't playing very well. But we believe in him. The team believes in him. He believes in us. He believes in the team. And when all of that stuff is there, the only thing you can do is just make the next throw, right? That's literally all you can do. And so he did it. I think we were able to calm down a little bit. I think one of the things that happened in the first half for sure is we just started really pressing. It was like we were in panic mode, trying to do too much, make the play. So we got into panic mode. And I do think at least at halftime, it was okay, can we just take a breath and start playing football a little bit? And so that helped for sure.
We'll go front row to the right, Carter.
Like the end of the first half when there was the missed field goal, the back-to-back picks, the 80-yard pass you mentioned. What was the feeling on the sideline? Was there anybody that stepped up and maybe rallied the troops in the locker room at halftime? And what do you think the kind of emotions were after that kind of sequence?
Yeah, it sounds crazy to say this, but there really wasn't a lot of panic. There were certainly your leaders. You heard Torian York, you heard Marcel Reed Adams, you heard Marcel Reed, you heard Concepcion, you heard our leaders talking as we were going up the tunnel, as we were going into the locker room. I think we made sure that we reset the energy the right way. I thought that was important, just to make sure that everybody knew kind of where we needed to be and what space we needed to be in. And as bad as everything was going, it just we don't panic. That's the one thing we don't do, is we don't panic, and maybe we need to panic a little bit more. I don't know, but it worked for us today.
Any status update on Ruben Owens?
No, I think he came back in, didn't he? Did he come back in? I think he came back in at some point. If he didn't, it's not a massive thing.
Yeah.
We'll go to the left, second row, Colton.
Hey, Coach, how do you soak in a game like this right after a game? And have you ever coached or played in a game like this in recent memory that's been this crazy?
No, that's a first for me in my career. I don't even really know what just happened, to be honest with you. A whole lot of heart left on the field, and a whole lot of support from a great group of fans.
We'll stay in that same row, Alex.
kind of touched on it, but just from what you could see in real time, what would you feel like maybe led to the turnovers Marcel had in the first half, and just what did you feel like he did on the field that helped clean up his play there in that second half?
Yeah, honestly, the first half is. I'm gonna come back to that on Monday. Like that was a little bit of a blur at this point, Alex. I couldn't even tell you that I remember him at this point. Certainly, the one was a really bad play call by us. You know, we put him in a really harm's way with the end charging in his face, the touchdown. Yeah, I don't even remember the rest of them. I think the rhythm, the tempo, creating some easy access throws. I think we were able to slow the pass rush down through the tempo. That helped. Obviously, they're really talented up front, and they looked like a team that was, fresh off a bye and fired up to come in here and beat a team that was ranked really high. And we didn't match their energy at all in the first half. We did in the second.
We'll stay to the left, fifth row, Parker.
Mike, I know you don't like to talk about the past, but given what happened in this game last year and just the historic win that it ended up becoming, what does that mean for the future of this team to be able to kind of get past that hump and come out on top today?
Yeah, I mean, certainly it means I'm sure we've accomplished some things today. I think getting to 10 wins is going to set us up to continue playing football and continue chasing the big prizes. I think that they're going to have a confidence and a belief that no matter what the situation in the game is, they're going to have a chance to win because, and then I think hopefully they're going to have an understanding of what it takes to get themselves mentally locked in every week, regardless of what their perception of the game outcome might be, that they better have themselves locked in and ready to play.
We'll stay to the left, third row.
Hey, Coach. Looking ahead, obviously you got Samford and Texas upcoming, but could you talk about potential college football playoff opponents in the state of Texas, for example, Texas Tech, North Texas?
I got no interest in talking about potential playoff opponents.
Okay, no problem.
We're going to go to the second row. Aaron.
Hey, Coach, I was just wondering if anything was said by you or any other coaches to Ashton Bethel-Roman after he dropped that pass and before he caught the touchdown.
Just some encouragement, like let's go, get it together. You'll be all right. Like we're gonna keep coming to you. Again, that's football a little bit, right? Some of the worst drops he probably had in his career, and probably one of the best catches he's ever had in his career. And so, just got to keep playing.
And then what was your overall assessment from him at 139 yards?
Yeah, I mean, obviously critical. The two big plays were huge. I thought Casey had a huge second half. Obviously, Marcel had a huge second half. We were really able to get the passing game unlocked a little bit.
All right. I
Good.
think that's it. Yep. Thank
Awesome.
you, Coach.
Thank you, guys.